Aha. Uh, okay, so just hey everybody, it's Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a good hump day, part of their week. I'm Brian. So how are you? I'm doing well. And I'd like to thank our viewer, whoever that might be right now. I'm playing around with my Stream Deck that I got, which is brand new for me. I'm learning how to use it. I actually have some buttons. I can switch between like overlays. So if I tap, ooh, oh, see that? Oh, see, yeah, that's kind of cool. Um, I'm going to try to do a lot more with that to, kind of make this a, somewhat professional stream, if you will. And But yeah, I've got some technology. I've been following along with a lot of the videos of people. To be fair, this Stream Deck is pretty much like a fancy gaming keyboard. I was, where you can set macros and things for it to do certain items. So in this case, there's also metrics you can do for like CPU usage, dropped frames. There's a studio mode, so if you were looking at my screen here, you could actually see that I have the transitions. Like if I wanted to change something on the overlay, I can do that. There's a lot of things you can do with it, including control music and music controls and things. So um, I'm still learning how to use it. I actually think it'll be better than me having to fumble around trying to select between different scenes and what have you. So, I can do everything between the three scenes that I have currently, and then other ones. So it's pretty cool. So, hope everyone's doing great. Oh, we have a couple three new followers here. So, Lechada Huaytivi. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Alobaidi and Capper Clapper. Okay. Thank you all for joining and following our stream here. So I would be I wouldn't be a very good promoter if I also did not mention our current conference, uh, which we are working on getting people to buy tickets for. Well, we're not having to work. We're not having to work for. We've sold about 25% of our capacity right now. So we're still looking for people to join us. I really do need to fix this. This is on GitHub pages, and I don't do markup very well apparently. I also So there's YAML file or YML files like YAML markup language, or I don't know what YML stands for, but this area up here for the InfoSec Welcome to InfoSec Campout was in a separate markdown file. So it's a YML file. If you put a comma or a colon in there, uh, completely broke stuff in GitHub Actions. I don't know why, but you can't put certain characters in there. Because the error message I got, I figured out was like, oh, in column, 101, line 3, unexpected somethings. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And apparently, you I had put a colon in there and it was causing the page not to update and bork itself. So I was trying to figure out how or why that was working. So I ended up having to troubleshoot that for a few minutes. And um, but yeah, I got a few more tickets. If you're in this is Carnation, Washington, but really it's just about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Seattle proper. So if you live in the Pacific Northwest or you want to come up here and visit and hang out for 3 days, we would love to have you on a long weekend. We're actually going to start this the 26th, which is a Friday, and then the 27th and 28th is just us with well-mannered frivolity. So um, tickets are already available. We have two levels of support. We have the RV camping and the non-RV camping. If you're interested, there's several tickets. It's really a beautiful area. So yeah. So if you're bringing an RV or a Tesla or you're going to camp in a camper van, it's $50. Everyone else, whether or not you attend or you're camping, if you're attending the conference, if you just want to drive in for the day and see the talks and what have you, then it's just $40 for everyone else. So we also will have ticket discounts if you're a college student. I probably should mention that in our Twitter. But if you're a college student or underrepresented groups, we'll definitely work with you to get some equitable to get an equitable deal. So we want to make sure that it's affordable and easy for everybody to get to and accessible. So yeah. Also, our CFP is open. We're looking for all kinds of talks, reverse engineering all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but from reverse engineering and like binary analysis and what have you to GRC to DevOps to SRE and infrastructure operations kind of talks. If there's a security bent in it, we would love to hear it. So we're definitely working on our logo right now for 2022. But yeah, the Google Forms link is right here if you want to come and hang out. And we have a code of conduct as well for those of you who are wondering about that. We do have our code of conduct, which is well, oh shit, did we? I know I didn't delete it. I know we do have one. So I need to double check that because we did have a code of conduct. Yes, I will. I will definitely fix. Oh, let me write that down so I don't forget it. That is definitely an oversight on my part. Oh, 1 second. All right. Update page. InfoSec campout. Add back COC. Okay. Going to put that right. I can't put it right there, but make sure it's like right in my face so I don't forget it. Because we're all about having a good time and making sure that everybody can have a good time without fear of jackasses. So yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. It must have been right here where I had the speakers and activities bit, so I will definitely get that set up again. Oh no, I'm sorry, social contract. There it is. My bad. I really should fix that social contract and change that to change social contract to COC. There we go. Because if I get confused, then others are going to get confused as well. So, but yeah, so we have five rules: be welcoming, be kind, look out for one another, we're stronger when you're united, and divisive behavior tears things down. So we want to be nice about that, and make sure that everybody is there and we're having good fellowship. So, any questions there? Anybody has any questions about the conference itself? Please raise them in chat. We'd love to talk about those. So I'm going to put this in the stream chat just for those folks who may show up a little later. There we go. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Not sure why my graphics keep getting borked on my overlays. Every time. Okay. So, as you can see, some of my, or can't see in this case. Wait a second. Boop. Oh, look. Oh, well, of course, nobody could see it because it was messed up. All right. But yeah, so, yeah, we're, okay. 1 sec. I don't want music yet. Yeah, so here's our website. It's not fancy. We're not DEF CON, we're not Black Hat. We can't afford webmasters and web content developers and stuff. We're very much, we're actually trying to do this without sponsors, which is almost unheard of for security conferences. And I think we've done a fine job with that. A lot of our donations either come from some anonymous sponsor by the name of Berber, or your subscriptions and to our channel here, our Patreon donators. The stuff that we do for that. The conference is paid for by those folks. It's also paid, our scholarships and things. So to be honest, I would say ours is probably one of the cheaper conferences that you could go to, and it's one of the cheaper conferences to have to organize. Hotels and everything cost several $1,000s, and a long time to get those dates out. I would imagine Black Hat and DEF CON and those are probably working 2 years in advance to make sure that they're not accidentally scheduled. And so with ours, it's just me making the reservations for the campsites and the barns. So but yeah, it's great. And if you live in the Seattle area and you don't want to camp, you don't have to camp. You can come drive out to Toll McDonald Campground. It's a nice scenic trip, plenty of parking, and you come out, you just sit around, have a fry up of some hot dogs and some s'mores and stuff. And then, if you want to leave after the talks are done, you can go and do that. It's entirely up to you. Yes, that's bugging me. I'm going to have to fix that. So, all right, let me see if there's any news. I did see. Let me see. Shecky, one of our longtime supporters and members, had mentioned that there is some VMware ransomware for Linux versions. It's called Cheers ransomware, I think. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, here we go. Linux-based ransomware targeting ESXi servers. So Shecky sent this over. Cheers Crypt is the name. Of course, there's been some memes from the sitcom Cheers, which is from the 80s. Some of you may not know what that's about, but it is what it is. We recently discovered Cheers Crypt, new Linux-based ransomware based in the leaked Babuk source code. Upon scrutiny, we found similarities between Cheers and the Linux version of the Babuk ransomware, specifically ESXi version. So it's a repackaged version of the Babuk ransomware. So there you go. The code base, the base code of Cheers Crypt appears to be derived from the source, but modified and customized to suit the malicious actor's ransomware goals. Okay, well that makes sense. I guess it's, if they're adding their TTPs in many in many cases to the fixes there. So there we go. So according to Trend Micro, they've observed several Linux-based ransomware detections that malicious actors targeted ESXi servers, bare metal hypervisor. I tried running Zen. I didn't try running ESXi. Other well-known ransom families targeting ESXi is, of course, Lockbit, Hive, Ransom EXX. Ransomware requires an input parameter specifying the path to encrypt so it can proceed to its infection route. Oh, excuse me. And then upon execution, it implements the following command to terminate VM processes. Okay, so it basically kills all your VM processes and then ransomwares them. Termination, ensures the ransomware can successfully encrypt VMware-related files. Similar to other ransomware families, it employs a double extortion scheme to coerce its victims to pay the ransom as shown on the ransom note in Figure 2, which it says, we hacked your company successfully. All files have been stolen and encrypted by us. If you want to restore or files or avoid file leaks, contact us. Sorry. Contact us within 3 days. Otherwise, we will expose some data and raise the price. Don't try to decrypt important files. It may damage them. Okay. Don't trust who can decrypt. They are liars. No one can decrypt without the key file. Okay. Well, yeah. So, successfully files were named with the .cheers extension. However, ransomware first renames the files. It will encrypt before encrypting the files. Thus, if access permission for the file was not granted, it cannot proceed with the actual encryption. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's all right. Thus, if the access permission for the file was not granted. All right. For each directory it encrypts, it'll drop the ransom note named how to restore your files.txt. So it seeks out, okay, VMDK files, which are the VM disk files, VM memory, the swap files, any logs. Okay. This is a good write-up. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. Some people may not want me to do that. I don't know, but I will post that link here. You can take a look at that if you'd like. Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. I've been trying to work on my health, so that's trying to work on my chicken wings up here. So trying to make them not like that guy, but chicken wings. More chicken and less wing, or more wing, less chicken. There we go. If you want to join our Discord, of course, we have a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of activity. Our bot's working again, so that's always good. You can also go to discord.gg/breaksec as well. So that'll also get you where you need to go. All right, so we have we're working towards finishing the SQL map stuff. So now we're at the advanced stages of SQL map. We're going to be talking about bypassing web application protections. So I'm going to turn on my music now. So this is our chill hop stuff, which you'll see when the little box pops up. There it goes. All right. So yeah, that's I figured out how to put the VNC bit on OBS, and it'll pull that up. So I'm gonna turn that down a little bit in case it's too loud for everybody. Bypassing web application protections. There won't be any protections deployed on the target side in an ideal scenario, thus not preventing automatic exploitation. Oof. Oh, we got six viewers. Appreciate everybody coming. I'm going through some Hack the Box stuff, some my SQL map items. If you're here because of the Twitter, thank you for following us on Twitter. I appreciate that. I'm going to shut my door before we get started. I assume that my co-host, who's probably going to be here when she realizes I've shut my door, will. Hey, Digital Warhead, what's up? Glad you could join me today. We're going to be bypassing web application protections with a SQL map. I don't know. So Digital, I don't know if you've noticed at all, but a lot of SQL map so far has been. I haven't done a lot of command line stuff with SQL map that is revolutionary. A lot of it is run the command --dump, done. I mean, with the exception of a few things where I'm having to grep out lines or, it's not taxing. It's not like Metasploit where you have to, properly configure the payloads and whatever. This is very much still, even with the, and maybe we'll get more into this later on here, but a lot of it has been like, oh yeah, just dump the database, and one of the tables has the flag in it. I don't have a lot of experience with SQL map or using SQL map, so is this? I don't know if any of y'all have had experience with this, but let me know what your experience with SQL map has been, on tests, because I've never used it on tests before. So, all right, let me see. So we're going to be. So the anti-CSRF token bypass, one of the first lines of defense against usage of automated tools, is incorporation of the anti-CSRF tokens built into all HTTP requests. especially those generated as a result of web form filling. Okay, and CSRF tokens. So for CSRF tokens. Okay. All right. So it's a random token used to prevent CSRF attacks. The token needs to be unique per user session and should be of large random value to make it difficult to guess. CSRF secure application. A CSRF secure application assigns a unique CSRF token for every user session. All right. Digital says, I haven't had any time for fun stuff like that lately. I'm struggling to get through my ITIL 4. Sticking a hot poker in my eye would be more fun than ITIL. Wait, ITIL 4? I thought they were up to 5 now. I mean, we had somebody on talking about ITIL 4 almost 8 years ago. ITIL v5? Yeah, they're like on ITIL version 5.5. Is ITIL like one of those things that, yeah. Or maybe this is just the version of ITIL exam. Let me see ITIL. Oh, okay. So maybe they're still on 4. Wow. Okay. Interesting. ITIL 4 is an upgraded version of ITIL 3. It was released in 2019. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we were just talking about generic ITIL with that gentleman way back in the day. Okay, so ITIL v4 is the new hotness and helps in building an effective IT service management process. ITIL v4 is seriously? So what's giving you issues there, Digital? If you don't mind my asking. Night disillusion. Okay. Yeah. So those of you, want to share in Digital Warhead's pain, you can go and read up on what the difference between V3 and V4 is. So, yeah, here you go. General practices, processes, and ITIL v4 practices. Whoa. Okay, so 26 processes of V3 are now replaced by 34 practices of ITIL. Jesus. It is kind of interesting, though. Information security management. Some of these things are definitely in a security bent, right? Architecture management, continual improvement, knowledge management. Oh my God. I could use so much knowledge management at work right now. I don't know how many docs I have bookmarked because they're sitting in a folder somewhere and we don't, it's easy enough to throw a wiki or a SharePoint at something. But SharePoint is just, it's a singularity of like, once it goes in there, it's hard to get it out, and there's really no good way of managing that stuff. So, Digital, ITIL 1 or 5 makes no difference to me. I'm going to forget everything as quick as I can. Oh, well, keep those books because ITIL is one of those things that have been around for a long time. So, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some security stuff involved with this, Digital. I mean, you got, not to mention general management practices, but monitoring and event management, problem management, change control, incident management. I believe their incident management is going to be different than what we would consider incident management, but there some of the things align, right? Or IT asset management. Yeah, this is one of those like level 1 things that we tell all organizations to work on, right? IT management, asset management. We don't do that well or do it well enough. Anyway, we may do it. It's just not up to snuff, and we miss things. So anyway, I'm gonna go back because we've lost a few folks, I think. So let me close some windows here. But yeah, I look forward to your critique of ITIL v3, 4, and or 5, or what have you. Oh, there we go. Okay, this is probably blasting people on the background music, so let me turn the background music down a little bit, and I'll turn it up in my earbuds. Okay. So nevertheless, SQL Map has options to help in bypassing anti-CSRF protections. Namely, the most important option is CSRF token. By specifying the token parameter name, which should be available within the provided request data, the SQL Map will automatically attempt to parse the target response content and search for fresh token values so it can use them in the next request. So this is like dumping cookies, right? I can go up here to my little, I have an app or a plugin for my browser called Dump Cookies, and I can dump current cookies for the current site, and then I can use them in curl or what have you to save them in a text file or some format that can be used. So this is going to parse the HTTP requests for a CSRF token value, storing it, and then it'll use it in a replay type attack. At least that's my guess. By specifying the token parameter name. Additionally, even in a case where the user does not explicitly specify the token's name, via CSRF token, if one of the provided parameters contains any of the common infixes CSRF, XRF token, the user will be prompted whether to update it in future requests. So here's the request. SQL Map, example, data. Okay, so this is the data has the CSRF token in the URL. Okay. You want SQL Map to automatically update it in further requests. Yes, okay. Unique value bypass. In some cases, the web app may only require unique values to be provided inside predefined parameters. Such a mechanism similar to the anti-CSRF technique described above, except that there's no need to parse the web page content. By simply ensuring each request has a unique value for a predefined parameter, web application can easily prevent CSRF attempts while at the same time averting some of the automation tools. For this option, randomize should be used, pointing to the parameter name containing a value which should be randomized before being sent. Okay. So I see randomize batch v5 grep URI. So it's looking for those URIs. That's interesting. So there's ID1, ID930, RP 36456. This is an interesting one here where you're pulling. What is that? That's %2C, %29, %29, %27. So some kind of URL encoding, obviously. That's interesting. I don't know what %29 is. URL encoding %29. There we go. Oh, so it's a single tick for 27 and a close parentheses for 29. All right, that's good to know. All right. And then and 2C is like dot. It's a tick, back tick, or single quote, and then 27 is a single quote. Oh no, this is a. What the hell is 2C? Is that apostrophe? Not a comma, but a single tick, whatever. Okay, so there's a number of different things here. Anyway, calculated parameter bypass, another similar mechanism where a web application expects a proper parameter value to be calculated based on some other parameter value or values. Most often, one parameter value has to contain the message digest of another one. To bypass this, the option eval --eval should be used, where a valid Python code is being evaluated just before the request is being sent to the target. Oh man, I was hoping I didn't have to learn Python for this shite. Okay, so I get that. You're importing a library called hashlib, and then you're asking h. So it's looking for h here. So h is the variable set name. So it's setting h to equal this. Then it's saying h, looking for the ID of 1. Okay, so hashlib MD5 ID. So it's looking for the ID, the MD5 of hash lib MD5 ID 1. Okay, plus hex digest. Don't know what that means. Unless MD5, the MD5 of 1 is this, which may be what they're expecting. I guess that makes sense. I guess you could go look on like Cyberknife or something to see what the hash of 9061 is. Let's see. Cybership. MD5. Okay. MD5, and then we're looking for 9061. What you get for 9061. 47E0D. 47. Yeah, 47. Okay, so the H is the hash. So it's looking for, it's wanting you to know what the hash of that user ID is. So, okay. Ooh. In case we want to conceal our IP address, or if a certain web app has a protection mechanism that blocklists our current IP address, we should try to use a proxy or the anonymity network Tor. Proxy can be set with the options proxy, so it's looking for a SOCKS 4 proxy, where we should add a working proxy. In addition to that, if we have a list of proxies, we can provide them to SQL map with the option proxy file. Okay, so I mean, if you have a number of Tor nodes, you can set it up to use those. Ideally, there could be any number of reasons why you would want to use something to get around a block list. Are you proficient in any programming languages? No, Digital Word, I am not. I am like most developers, I can copy and paste with the best of them. My problem, and I think I've said this more than once. I came from a vulnerability management background, but every time I've never worked in a position where I needed to code, right? And you know, it's easy for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, just learn a language and whatever." If you're not using that language, it's just gonna go to waste, you know, unless you have a definitive reason to be coding. I don't have one. I don't. I know a little bit of Bash scripting. I know a little bit of Python. I can read it. I can understand it somewhat. You know, but yeah, I don't have any. I'm not proficient in any kind of programming language. For your second question, do you believe it is a necessity to know a language? Fuck. I have a feeling I'm going to get blocked on the exercises in this section if it's a requirement to know some code. I would say Python is fairly ubiquitous. You know, it really depends on what you want to do, right? If you're, you know, your company, if you want to stay a long time in your company and you know that they're a heavy Java company, you might want to learn some Java. It just really depends on what you want to spend time to have to learn to know and constantly, hack at. I mean, MT Taggart, who's one of our good friends over there, on his own stream, he knows a lot of things about a lot of different things, and he knows him some code, and he can write some code up. And I've just never been in a position where I've needed that, right? And that may be one reason why I realized that I probably need to move over to more of a management type position. Because I don't have the time or patience to learn a scripting language or a programming language at this point, sadly. Which that may bite me in the ass one day, but it will not be this day. So we'll see what happens. If it does come to where I'm going to have to write up some Python, I'm sure that there's a, Stack Overflow or something I can look at that will give me the information I require. So turn that off so I'm not confused by my own preview. So, all right. So we have a list of proxies. Check torproject.org and check the response for the intended result. Congratulations appears inside. Okay. So you want to, the one thing is I would say if you're using Tor to get around a block list, have a good reason of why that is. If you're in a country where they're blocking you because of the politics of your country, or I can't imagine why they would block your specific IP address. Maybe they've blocked ISPs in certain areas. I don't know. Maybe they're just they know that there's no need for, traffic to be coming from a specific part of the world or specific IP ranges. So they block those as well. That may be another reason why they're doing it legitimately. So there's, So WAF bypass. People love them some WAFs, I will tell you, which is a web application firewall. When we run SQL map as part of the initial tests, SQL map sends a predefined malicious looking payload using a non-existent parameter name, PFOV. PFOV. I wonder if it's random or not. Because I'm thinking, if this is what they actually send every time, as a WAF maintainer or admin, I would block the shit out of that, or you could do the other thing. You could make it look like it's, it legitimately made it through to kind of screw with whoever's using SQL map for this. There will be a substantial change in the response compared to the original in case of any protection between the user and the target. For example, if one of the most popular WAF solutions, ModSec, it's an Apache plugin for Apache web server, there should be a 406 not acceptable response after such a request. Now, ideally, if I didn't want anybody to know I had a WAF, I might change the response to something else, like a 503 or maybe a 200, and it would send it to a honeypot or something like that. Could be something you could look at as well. In the case of a positive detection, to identify the actual protection mechanism, SQL map uses third-party library IdentiWAF, containing the signatures of 80 different WAF solutions. If we wanted to skip this heuristical test altogether, we just skip WAF. Okay, so what I'm learning here is that there may be some need for you to change how your WAF operates to kind of, not be one of those 80 different WAF solutions. If there's a way to change the signatures or the response of your WAF to kind of screw with, the skids or myself, we're using SQL map, it might be something to look at. User agent blocked list bypass. In the case of immediate problems, HTTP error code 500 from the start, while running SQL map, one of the first things we should think of is the potential block listing of the user agent used by SQL map. Oh, okay. So if you don't change your user agent, that may be another way your WAF can block that too. Maybe people just don't care and they're going to be blasting your WAF or your web servers. It is trivial to bypass this with random agent, which changes the user agent to randomly chosen value. Yeah, it's only gonna stop the stupid people who don't know enough about SQL map to know that you should just put in a random agent. Should change that up. Note, if some form of protection is detected during the run, we can expect problems with the target, even other security mechanisms. The main reason is the continuous development and new improvements. Okay. And new improvements in such protections, leaving smaller and smaller maneuver space for attackers. Okay. Tamper scripts. Oh, I love tamper scripts. Yeah. Well, these are, I'm thinking of tamper scripts, the plugin for Firefox or what have you. One of the most popular mechanisms implemented in SQL Map for bypassing WAF or IPS are tamper scripts. They're a Python script written for modifying requests just before being sent to the target, in most cases to bypass some protection. Well, I wonder how that is any different than Burp Suite. I mean, you could technically proxy things through Burp Suite, or we've talked about proxy chains in the past, right? So you could potentially use one or more of those things as well to modify the scripts. For example, one of the most popular scripts between it's a link to SQL map tamper between.py. Okay, so you're importing RE, libcore, import priority, replaces greater than operator with not between 0 and number, and equals operator between number and number. Okay. Tested against these databases. So, okay. MySQL. I don't know if it's the same on MariaDB or not. Useful to bypass weak or bespoke web app firewalls that filter the greater than character. Oh, very nice. Okay. Interesting. The between clause is an SQL standard, hence this tamper script should work against all ? Databases. Okay. Okay. That's some interesting regexing there. Wow, that is a hell of a regex. Yeah, okay. Let's pop that in there. All right, there you go. That's a SQL map script. You can, anybody can explain that regex, you get 1,000 quat lose. So that's very interesting there, that concept. Okay. Return value equals payload. If the payload matches and/or /b/s/b. Okay. Right. Okay. I'll have to get out my old dusty rusty regex book and poke through these, but it looks like there's some find replace kind of things where we're replacing certain characters based on what they are. Like they said, the greater than sign. Yeah, greater than operator with not between, and equals operator between number and number. Huh, wonder why you would do that. This way, many primitive protection mechanisms focused mostly on preventing XSS attacks are easily bypassed, at least for SQLI purposes. So I guess if you're like insert, or where you're searching and it's like, where users equals 1, so you would say it would replace the equals with where users are between 5 and 15 instead of an equal sign, right? Because there's no equals, there's no greater than sign. So yeah, it makes sense. Okay. And I mean, logically, the greater than operator is like not between 0 and whatever. So the number would be less than, whatever it is you decided. So it makes sense. Tamper scripts can be chained one after another with the tamper option between a random case where they are run based on their predefined priority. Let's scroll back up here and look at these, see if there's, okay, so there's various ones here. So you've got apostrophe mask, you've got apostrophe null encode, append null bytes. There's between, what did they mention? The other one was called what? Random case. Random case is, there it is. I love it when you talk dirty about things. You guys are easy there, Digital Warhead. We're a family-friendly show. By the way, speaking of shows, if you missed the John DiMaggio talk, I'm currently working on getting that ready to go. I was working on editing the audio today. This is as far as I got, which is pretty much importing the MP3 of the video that we just put in here. So I'm going to try to get that out today. If you missed the stream and you're a subscriber, you can go and check out the VOD of me interviewing John DiMaggio and his book, The Art of Cyber Warfare. So you can go check that out. All right. So speaking of which, here's the random case.py. Replaces each keyword character with a random case value. So select, okay, so this, yes, for OCD people, this would probably drive them nuts, right? Useful to bypass weak or bespoke web application firewalls, right? So if you're looking for, if it's like, oh yeah, block all words that start with select and it's case sensitive. So if it's looking for SELECT, all uppercase, you can change. Even one letter would be enough to change the value of select, but in the OS on the WAF may be case sensitive, but the database will be case insensitive in many cases. So it will not see this as a problem and will still call it select. Whereas the WAF would be like, this is select, this is not select, this is something other than select. So that makes sense. Okay. Oh, and this also works for plain SQLite or typical key, not key value pairs, but what do they call that? A database that doesn't have like a traditional table. It's not NoSQL. SQLite. It is, what do they call it? It is it's like a plain text format or a plain text format for databases where it'll just put everything into a text file and allow you to search it. Tamper script should work against all databases. So this one's easy enough. If word upper KB research. So yeah, there's, what I like is you can actually go in and look at the files here, and take a look at what kind of code you're going to be running. So, and it's easy, it's nicely laid out, it's well documented. It's something you don't always see a lot of. So, of course, the three double quotes is like a block comment for Python. So there you go. Very cool. You know what? I think you might be right. I think I may be overthinking this, but I thought SQLite was called something else. I thought Hadoop was like a NoSQL clone or whatever. Let's see. It's an embedded database. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, it's a RDBMS, relational database management system. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is a NoSQL, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it is a NoSQL interface. It does do key value pairs, so it uses JSON. Yeah, SQLite's one of 4 formats recommended for long-term storage of data sets. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Huh. Yeah. You can go look that up. I know it's definitely used in a lot of embedded systems because of its lightweight and lack of need for a service to run it. You can just basically call the file and do whatever it is you need to do in it. Close that, close that. All right, so here's some of the tamper scripts. Huh, that one's interesting. E0 union. Base 64 encode between commaless limits. Hey, Just Guy, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. Equal to like replaces all occurrences of operator equals with like counterpart. Okay. Oh wow. So here's some more obfuscation. So it'll so this is almost like the XSS where it's like it'll do, you know, I'm waiting for the unshadow process for John to finish. Takes forever. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. You mean John the Ripper? You're ripping some passwords? It is a bit exquisite when you're running John and you see that there's a password there, but it's like, oh, and sometimes it's like one character at a time, and you're like, you know, sometimes it's like Hangman or something. You gotta, wait for it to, or Wheel of Fortune where you're trying to solve the puzzle and you're like, is that ass words? No. But yeah, it is a little annoying. Yeah. But so yeah, some of these obfuscations are to, because what it'll do is it'll remove the WAF will remove the percentages and then leave the select. So you'll see that sometimes with XSS stuff. Oreo byte, you don't need to unshadow to crack the hash, but it makes it easier to see whose password and hash is owned by. Hey, Oreo byte, what's up? How you doing? That's very nice. Okay, so they have some specific things for MS SQL, some for MySQL. Symbolic logicals replaces and ors with ampersand and the pipes. Very cool. All right. Other miscellaneous bypasses. Out of other protection bypass mechanisms, there are two more that should be mentioned. The first one is a chunked transfer encoding turned on using the switch chunked, which splits the post requests into chunks. Blocklisted SQL keywords are split between the chunks in a way that the request containing them can pass unnoticed. Oh, that's sweet. That's really nice. Let's go look that up. Chunked transfer encoding. I would imagine you're gonna like chunk every three. Yeah, here we go. Do they have an example? There we go. Following example, 3 chunks length 4, 6, and 14 are shown. Chunk size is transferred as a hexadecimal number followed by carriage return and line feed is a separator, so that's R and an N, followed by a chunk of data with a given size. So you're telling it this is how many bytes you're going to send. So you send wiki, carriage return line feed, then another 6 characters are coming with pedia, PEDIA space, carriage return line feed, and then E, that's the number of bytes to send in hex. Yep. That's 14, right? So, and then N chunks. Okay. And then 0 is the final byte, and then your return line feed. So decoded data comes in like this. So you would set your request up to be chunked over a number of systems, and since A looks good because it's not a whole word, B looks good if somewhat weird, it'll allow both of these to go through, and then it's only on the other side when they're put together and they say pwned by whoever, then you realize that it's nasty. So that's a nice little attack. Damn. And then the other bypass is parameter pollution, which I want to say is new, because I remember my friend Ponysec talking about some of that stuff. HTTP parameter pollution. Yeah. So according to Imperva, who make WAFs, so Just Guy says, can't crack any more hashes until I perform the unshadow process. Fax says something like this. It keeps telling me using default input encoding UTF-8, no password hashes loaded. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, so the adopted technique, parameter value. So transferring examples. So some page and then a different host, except I see. Okay, so yeah, you're definitely allows an attacker to craft a request in order to manipulate or retrieve hidden data. This evasion technique is used splitting an attack vector between multiple instances of a parameter with the same name. Since none of the relevant RFCs define the semantics of an HTTP parameter manipulation, each web application delivery platform deals with it differently. In particular, some environments process such requests by concatenating the values taken from all instances of parameter name within the request. This behavior is abused by the attacker in order to bypass pattern-based security mechanisms. Okay, so you've got get some page JSP parameter value 1, value 2, and then up another HTTP host. Looks at some host.il, the user agent, and then accept. So it's like you've flipped it, right? You're running the parameters and the action before you actually do things like the host and the user agent. And you're doing okay. And then you're calling the content lengths with various parameters inside there. Wow. Yeah, boy, this is a prime example of people not thinking through these things because these attacks didn't exist or wasn't thought of when they were working these things out. So I wonder how complicated HTTP RFCs would have been if they'd have known about these parameter pollutions and other ways of screwing the pooch like this. So, all right. Oh, gods. Okay. Man, it's going to suck. Speaking of, it really sucks, Just Guy. This, I'm really kind of, okay. Well, we'll see it happens. Put my other earbuds in. Okay. There we go. So just for everybody's edification, this is chill hop music that's going on in the background. You can see what's playing there above my pretty face. I'm gonna set this for full screen. Move this to a new window. Split the screen accordingly. Okay. There we go. Oops. Pro tip, skip the THM upload vulnerabilities lab because they mostly don't work. They're really well explained, but the practical part will tear you down mentally if you insist on it. Cool. Okay. Well, I will remember that. I will. I had already tried to figure out that if this, if I jack around too long on one thing and I get stuck, even with the music in my head not causing me to go ape shit, I would just skip some of these things. I do need the box. I do need the cubes so that I can go to different modules. But yeah, I completely understand. So, all right. What are the contents of table 8? All right. Oh, right. We go to the browser. All right. Yes, like Digital Warhead said, embrace the suck, and let's just go in and poke around. All right, so this is the SQL Map Essentials labs that we've been looking at. We're going to be looking at 8, 9, 10, and 11, so the last 4 on the list here. All right, let's click on number 8. All right, so it says anti-CSRF token bypass, detect and exploit SQL vulnerability in the post parameter ID while taking care of the anti-CSRF protection. Note, non-standard token name is used. Ooh. Okay. So okay. So digital, back to your question there when we were talking about programming languages and stuff. I probably wouldn't feel the trepidation that I normally feel if I actually knew some programming languages. But I can't be the only person who's gone through their entire... One sec. I imagine I'm not the... Oh, thanks, Jessica. I don't mind if I do. This is my small water bottle. Thank you, Iron Flask. So they work a treat. So machine washable and stuff. Thank you. Yes, hydration is important, especially when you get dry mouth like myself, when I get nervous. Anywho, all right. So network, we're going to go to network. We're going to hit reload. All right. So constants to table 5. So detect and exploit SQL injection vulnerability in the post parameter ID. All right, well, we don't have a post parameter ID. So what I need to do is, so I'm going to send a request. So I'm going to need to submit at least one. Uh-oh. Oh, they upgraded Wapalizer. Oh, good. Okay. That's important. All right, so there's the post command. There's the post method, I mean. All right. Let me see, where is the... Looking for the... Oh, response. I suck at C. You know what? Just a guy, everybody sucks at CSRF once in a while, you know. Everybody does. Yeah. Okay, so here's the token. As you can see, the token is T0KEN, and then this is the CSRF token. All right, so we scroll back up here. We scroll back up here. I suck at CSRF. That's why I'm doing this. You know, I'm just trying to keep my edge and, you know, getting my CISSP credits, because there's no other way I'm going to be able to do that unless I actually do these. So, all right. So we were talking about the CSRF token by specifying the token parameter name, which should already be available within the provided request data. Okay. So as we scrolled over here, so as we saw here, -- data ID, and then 1 in this case for Maynard. CSRF token is not this. It'd be T0KEN. And so what we should be able to do is copy as curl. Sure, I'm up for another pro tip there, just a guy. I appreciate your pro tips. Sounds like you've been on these before and done these more than a few times. Control Shift V. All right, so you see okay, so let me see if I could probably simplify this a little bit. Use what runs instead of Wapalizer. Okay. What runs? It's usually much better. Let's go look at that. What runs WAF detector? Cover what runs a website. Okay. There you go. It's a Firefox plugin. I won't add it to this instance that I'm running in because it's going to be wiped out once we go in. But there's the link, whatruns.com. All right. All right. So I hit Control Shift B, I think. No, Control Shift B. No. Oh, that kind of works. All right. Alt B also will go backwards. There's probably Alt Shift B, I think. All right, so we'll go SQL map. No, SQL map. That's slick map. Okay. -U for the URL. Okay, PHP. All right. Probably don't need any of the other --H's. I'm going to leave them in just for shits and giggles. Okay. And then, all right, well, no. Oh. Not what I want to do there. There we go. All right. Back it up. All right, so this should be --data equals, and then back up, colon, ID equals 1, and token equals that. Okay, so, and then --CSRF token, token. Okay. There we go. Token equals, and then we need T0KEN. Okay, dump batch. What was it? Dash. One of these days, I'm going to write down all these damn switches that I need for T. I think it's --T. SQL map switches. Batch, form, threads, risk and level. No, database enumeration. No, it was dash dump. Current database name. I want to say it was like -T or something. Cheat sheet. Let's get me closer. Oh. -U -tables -T users. There it is. --T users. Okay. Easy. Yeah. All right, we'll give that a shot. All right. T flag 8. See what happens with that. Okay. And we're running. I'd imagine for some of these values. Okay, scroll down here. Table 8, yeah, table. Oh, that was easy enough. There you go. Table flag 8. All right, so yeah, I keep seeing myself in the mirror. Dash T. All right, so the dash T was the certain columns, but this one was fairly simple, thankfully. All right, so I don't think I picked the right table. I think I picked the right entry here. So HTB, you have been CSRF tokenized. So we just copy that. And basically what I did was I just changed the curl request to SQL map, which uses curl, of course. Changed the raw data output, changed it to /data according to the output from the examples we saw earlier. The token was automatically added because it was part of the request down here at the bottom on the form, and denoted which CSRF token was what, and then just did a dump, a batch, which just says yes to all the questions. And then I did a dash T flag 8. You know what? Got time. I'll run this again to see if you get the same answer if you didn't do the dash. There you go. What was the? Don't forget to specify the token name. Okay, so I did that. So I did that right. All right. Okay, so you didn't need the dash T, capital T flag 8. You get the answer either way. What they wanted you to do was to, not that. They wanted you to denote the token and the CSRF token name. So that was all they wanted you to do with that one. So all right, let us go to case number 9. And they say, what is the table of the contents of table flag 9? All right, so 9. Okay, detect and exploit SQL vulnerabilities in the get parameter ID while taking care of the unique UID. All right, so I'm gonna click here. Okay, so UID is that. That's an interesting one. This looks like the one where they were where you were trying to figure out the hash values of something. Let's see, where was that? That was right here. Pull that over here to this side so we can look at the whole thing. UID, RP value. Yeah, so let's see, where is it? Yeah, that had to have been it, this here. Taking care of the unique ID value, which was RP, randomize RP, batch v5, grep URI. And so at the bottom, oops, sorry, making y'all sick, I apologize. What are the contents of table flag 9? Go back over here. Seriously? I have to refresh again. Yeah, I dorked it up. Okay, so the UID is this. It said detect and exploit the SQL injection vulnerability in the get parameter UID or ID, get parameter ID, so ID 1, while taking care of the unique UID. I have no idea what that means. Why? All right, let's look at the cheat sheet before I click on the hint here. Okay, database schema enumeration dash T user should probably clear. All right, so we have UID or ID1 UID 2922665949. There's PHP session ID, which probably doesn't matter. Anti-CSRF token bypass, conditional numeration, spawning an OS shell, writing a file, reading a local file, checking for DBA privs, list all tamper scripts. I can download the cheat sheet if I wanted it. Sure, why not? Nothing better to do. Save. All right, let's see what the hint is for table 9. Don't forget to specify the parameter name you need to randomize. Oh, it's okay. So we were talking about no, not random agent. It was, is that this? No. Randomizer. Yeah, this here. Oh, I see. Okay. So unique value bypass. Okay, so all right. So that is all right. We're gonna go Alt E. Oops, or Alt B. That's what it is. All right. So as normal, we have to clear out curl SQL map dash U. All right, so we have the URL and batch. Okay, I get it. V5 is verbosity. All right, so we're going to. All right, so we'll go back. Alt E. Oh. E. There we go. Control E. And then randomize is UID batch. Don't know if I want to do V5 or not, but it asked for it, so I'm going to go ahead and put V5 just in case. Something happened that was terribly interesting. It's definitely running some stuff. So it's, you see the case 9 ID and 20 and %20. Okay, I have a feeling it was supposed to be a flag here somewhere. Let me see. Did I? Oh, you know what? I didn't do a dump. I'm betting I should have had dump in there. Only because, you know, I'll scroll back up and see in the last few here to see if it come up with any flat. Holy crap. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's a lot there. Okay. Nope, that's not it. You know what? I can probably grep for not to. Okay, so apparently Unshadow is doing something I misunderstood, and it only explained later on in the THM challenge and was trying to crack my own Etsy password. No, I will follow you, but not because of more stupid stuff, just because, you know, you're learning from your mistakes, right? So we're all learning here. So just, you know, so just guys, is this something where you were supposed to specify which Etsy password file you were supposed to pull down, or maybe you're supposed to pull the password file down and store it somewhere and then refer to it? Look at it this way. Look at it this way. You couldn't crack your own password hashes with John the Ripper. So, you know, good for you, right? You managed to, you know, be more secure than John the Ripper. It just took a long time. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that would have sucked if Digital Warhead, he was like, wow, I just cracked all. Wait, this password. That's my password. What the? Let me see. Oh, right, and right, and grep. Huh, interesting. I wonder if URI is what I should be grepping for. So, let me. See flag 9 here. All right, so let me go down. Maybe let me double check and make sure what I'm supposed to be looking for. It's not always a flag thing. What is the contents of the table flag 9? Yeah, okay. Contents of table flag 9. So I am looking for dash tables. I don't think it's grep URI, so dash tables flag 9. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Whoa. Okay, something didn't come out right there. Yeah, you're supposed to get them from the target machine and crack them locally. All right, well, you're going to pull that down. You're going to run it again. It may take a little less time than before, so just something to think about. All right, so I don't think I did dash tables. I think I just did dash tables, which is one reason why maybe that didn't work. You ever do that thing where you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different answer? That'd be me. Fetched data logged text files under... Yeah, it took less than a minute to crack all 3 hashes left. There you go. Yeah, that's something I have to remind myself about Hack the Box. They're not going to make this where you're going to spend hours waiting for, John the Ripper or, these word lists. It's like, oh, this word list has 8,000 values in it. We're oh crap. Okay. You're going to get to about, 500-600 tries or something, and then it's gonna crack the passwords. It will make sure that those passwords are in the list of passwords. It just wants you to go through the motions of making sure everything is set up properly. I'm glad you're having more luck than I am, because I'm thinking I've messed something up. I'm gonna have to go back and find a proper SQL map cheat sheet that has, because I'm looking for. Right. I need. Right. See, full dump database -D target DB. Try port swigger. What are you talking to me? Oh, that was a little quicker. I don't think that was correct either. And how would I try port swigger for this? Port swigger has cheat. Oh, I see. SQL map cheat sheet. All right. Yeah, I think this is going to be for SQL injection, not so much SQL map. Yeah. Yeah. What I'm missing on here is it says the hint is don't forget to specify the parameter name you need to randomize. I did that. It's just I appear to be missing parameter to exploit dbs-p param2, right? -dbs. Oh, interesting. Maybe I will give that a shot. Because I'm trying to get the database, right? So I need to whatever the table is, specify a table. Maybe I need to specify. Let me see. SQL map specify table. Dumping tables using is how does 25 useful commands. -T, so capital T users database table. All right, so it could be it is capital T. Have you tried the manual approach? Depends on what you mean by manual, right? Ding, there it is. It's tedious, but it's much more helpful. No, I did not try the manual approach. Just a guy. What I had forgotten to do was put the -T in there because what I needed was the contents of the table flag 9, which I keep forgetting to do. Oh. Well, yeah. So yeah, being able to dump the specific table was what I needed. So too much randomness for my tastes. Okay. All right. So I was on the right track. I just didn't use the right switch in this case. I knew I had to pull it from flag 9, so I need to remember capital T for the table, and I need to include that in these. What is the contents of table flag T? Whatever it is that I do from here on out needs to have --dump and -T and then the flag table name, because I had to pull table flag 9. All right, let me. You rat bastard. Okay, there we go. This half and half thing makes it way simpler. I don't know why, but having to switch between tabs back was a bit off. So, all right, I earned a cube. Yay! All right, so now we're going to go to case 10, presumably. There we go. Case 10.php. Boink. All right. So, what is the contents of table flag 10? Detect and exploit SQL vulnerabilities in the post parameter ID. All right, so we need to submit. All right, so this is the post parameter ID equals 1. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that, copy as a curl request. Going to Control-C and hit clear. I'm going to hit clear. There we go. Control-Shift-V. All right, so what we see here is we've got a PHP session ID. We have data raw ID equals 1. User agent, da-di-da-di-da. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we hit Alt-E. Nope. Control-E. No. Shift-E. No. I'm an idiot. Alt-B. Sorry, B for back. B for back. Okay. And we're going to go SQL map. -U. All right. And Alt-E. Nope. Control-E. -T. Add flag 10 for the table. dump, just to make sure everything. From everything you told me, I think you'd get lots of help from an IT Pro TV subscription. I have one and use it as often as possible. They even help you go through SQL Map and your certification too. I think worth checking out. I would not hate that. The problem is if I went through IT Pro TV, I would have to give everyone a subscription, right? Because I would want to refer to that while I was on my stream here. And unfortunately, I don't know how that would work. I'm not actually looking for certification so much. I'm just looking to log my hours so that I can put in, I've got 150 hours of, hack the box time for my CISSP, which I only need 120 every 3 years, but I'm an overachiever. What can I say? But yeah, if you think IT Pro TV would be a good thing for folks learning how to use SQL Map or other tools, I'm not going to hate on that. Different strokes for different folks. IT Pro TV. Let's see here. IT training your team will actually use or to accelerate your career. Yeah, there you go. So. Yeah, they're not a sponsor, but I'm, just so just a guy for CISP, you have to, usually I do the podcast and I've never actually used the podcast. Oh, no, I don't need to take the exam again. No. Once I got my CISP, I was like, yeah, this is one cert I never want to lose. So, going to conferences like B-Side Seattle was 8 hours pretty much. Technically, my podcast or the streams that I do here, should be considered, part of the training. I listen to podcasts like Risky Business and Defensive Security. So 1 hour of podcast is 1 credit kind of thing. But if I'm doing this stuff, it's pretty easy for me to show them if they ever audited me, hey, I'm actually walking through this shit, and using SQL Map and it's, part of this domain and what have you. So, yeah, I don't mind watching. Oh, that guy looked like my friend Noid. Okay. But yeah, looks like there's a ton of stuff here. So for CEH, Azure Administrator Associate, CompTIA. Okay. Oh, hey, Digital Warhead. Wait, it was digital, right? Digital Warhead? Yes, Digital Warhead. Here's some ITIL stuff. Sorry, I'm just digging at Digital Warhead a little bit there because he was Digital was telling me about dealing with ITIL stuff earlier, but Digital's working with the ITIL V4 stuff for class coursework. All right, back to our show already, regularly scheduled show already in progress or what have you. All right. So contents of table flag 10. I'm going to try to not do the hint. What it was asking me for was to basically, let's see. This must be one of these bypasses here. Parameter pollution, like a chunked thing. Okay, other bypass mechanisms is HTTP parameter pollution, where payloads are split in a similar way as in chunked between different parameter named values. Okay, so I'm going to try -- chunked. All right, because I have a feeling. So I got my CISP back in 2010. Just a guy. So I got mine back in 2010. There were still 10 domains at the time. There's now 8, and I believe the testing is actually more difficult. It's for me, it was 250 questions, and I did it on a Scantron paper thing, and I had to wait 3 weeks for somebody to manually grade it. Now it's like through fucking Pearson VUE and all that shit, which is the worst. I had to actually go back to Scantron given the choice nowadays. But yeah, it's a different test, and it's one of those things I definitely don't want to have to get it again. And I have more than enough credits, and I have to, get my 120. But I've done 140 hours of streaming here just in the last, 5 months. So it would be hard pressed for them to go, no, that doesn't count, because I've been doing at least 100 hours of Hack the Box and other things and interviews and podcasts and things like that. So, um, yeah, I would say contributions to the community. Yeah, no, yeah, no, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's the CISP is one of those ones that I've earned, and I'm not going to let it go. So, but yeah, I do appreciate the push though. All right, let's. I could have been running this while I was sitting here. So I added the chunked parameter because I have a feeling this is one of those bypass things where they want to attempt to. Oh, damn. All right, let's. I also forgot to put -- batch. So there we go. All right, so it's running a statistical model. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it sounds terribly exciting. So what I've done is I've also put the table flag 10 in, dump, and batch. So that should give us some idea as to what's... See, exactly. Okay, so this was a chunked issue. This was one of the miscellaneous bypasses that they mentioned. I didn't have to use the hint this time. So yet another randomized. Okay, so I need to do this and go down to number 10 and then submit. Yeah, once you get it, it won't let you use the hint. So probably should do that next time instead of letting it go. Yeah, just guy, knowing then what I know now, wow, CISP'd be kicking my ass. And technically, some of this actually would count towards my SANS courses too. Thought about using nuclei at the beginning of the challenge. What's nuclei? I have no idea what that is. Nuclei. Leading spatial biology revolution. I don't think that's what you're talking about there. Yeah, I don't think spatial biology. Maybe it's something else. Project discovery tool. Oh, I don't know what that is. Do you have a link? All right, let me continue on here with case 11. Case 11. Case 11. All right. Project discovery in the Googs. Okay. Project discovery. No. Maybe. Security automation redefined. Open source software company that builds tools to discover, monitor, and manage attack surface vulnerabilities. Join us at GitHub. I didn't realize I was at 34 frames per second. I did not like that. Nuclei. Ah, okay. Oh, vulnerability scanner. Yeah, I don't have a problem with using vulnerability scanners. I worry about running this on Hack the Box though, because I think what they're wanting you to do is to actually try and use the commands that you were learning. But I have no problems with any number of scanning tools for this. Yeah, there may be definitely a need for this. This actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, if you were on an engagement, I could definitely see something like this if you've, especially if you've built your own playbooks on these things. Yeah, you can, basically CVE templates that the community built and shared, put into the tool, and gives you the option to scan for certain vulns. Really nice. Yeah, I would it's good to see that there's more work being done on vulnerability scanners other than people just defaulting to OpenVAS, which is just it's a hot mess. Yeah, it's just not good. Cool. Yeah. Let me put that link in our notes here just for everybody. It's almost like Nmap has a similar vuln scanner system. If you make a script or something, you can scan for vulnerabilities using that as well. But I could definitely see the appeal of a different scanner. There's always a better way or another way of doing these things. Oh, and it runs in Go, so interesting. That means it would be cross-platform as well. You could potentially make detections for Windows boxes as well. I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong, just a guy. Anyway, go back, hack the box. Let me see if we can knock out number 11 here. Okay, we're going to be filtering characters. Okay, so when we were talking about filtering of characters, that was a list of tampers. So we're going to be tampering with some stuff. But everyone is using the public CVE template, so ideally you should build your own. Okay. All right, so we're going to click here. Okay, so get ID parameter. We're going to copy curl. And we're going to Control-Shift-V. Then we're going to Alt-E. No, not Alt-E, damn it. Control-E. No. Alt-B. One of these days I'll get it if my old ass brain will remember it. Hey, no, you're not here for the end of the party there, YTT. Okay, Jessica. Holy shit, it's 3 a.m. for you. Oh, you are. Thank you so much, Jessica. You take care. Be safe and go get some sleep. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. Okay. That was odd. We went red there for a second. I'm not sure why we dropped a little bit, but okay, -U. Okay. Nah, I've been on since 3 o'clock. It's okay, YTT. I'm just trying to finish up this chapter on the SQL map stuff. So far, I haven't completely wigged out. I think it's probably because the music in my head here. So I need to Control E. Yeah, Control E. And it's -T, and then we're looking for flag 11. So that's the database name. --batch. --dump. And we're going to be using a tamper script, which in this case, they want you to, there's some kind of mod security or some kind of, we're going to be filtering out greater than and less than characters. Yeah, Linux Parrot. All right. Thank you for following, Linux Parrot. How you doing? All right. Whoa, Digital Warhead's got some fancy emotes. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Oh, eating pizza. Excellent. I wish I could be eating pizza. I've eschewed the normal pizza, but YTT, I'm so good because of all the voices in my head. They talk me through issues. You outnumber your enemies 2 to none. Oh, okay. I only listen to the voices in my head when they tell me it's time to, go to bed or whatever. So, what kind of pizza you got, Linux Parrot? Let me see. All right, so we're doing batch, flag 11 dump. All right, and we need a tamper script for plus and or greater than, less than characters. Okay, so there's probably going to be a specific one they're going to tell us about. The voices in my head I make fart noises with my mouth. That was a Anchorman reference, my bad. Special characters. Space character with comments. Replaces a space character with a dash dash. Let me see. What do we got here? Mozilla. Just want to make sure we don't have anything odd here. Okay, ID equals 1. To get a whole list of tamper scripts along with description as above, switch dash dash tampers can be used. You can also develop custom tamper scripts for any type of attack, like a second order squilly. Okay. Interesting. So, oh, here we go. For example, the most popular is between. Okay, so we were going through the between scripts. So it's going to do greater than. I think it's probably between. But this one only replaces just the greater than and equals operators, but it doesn't do less than. Wonder if it matters. Well, there's only one way to check, or one way to test that out. So let's go dash dash tamper equals between. And we'll see what happens. All right, so we're running all the things and testing all the stuffs. All right, where the DBMS is MySQL, yeah. Oh, whoa. That, up, there it is. Okay, so that did work. But, okay, so, control, oh, right click, copy. All right, so this one was also fairly easy. Did you have any experience before starting Hack the Box? So I did some testing I wouldn't even call myself a pen tester, not because I know a lot of people who call themselves pen testers or consultants or security assessors or red team folk. I did some light stuff, just enough to be able to explain to a developer, hey, here's burp, here's how you can, all that code that you just put in, I can go in and interrogate this before I'm sending it to the server and make this change. And I can, here's the database I dumped. They're like, oh, and I made them feel bad. I would not consider myself a pen tester. I know enough to be Well, I know enough to know enough. I know enough to know enough that I can discuss with people. Take that as what you will, but I'm definitely not as talented as some of the folks that are on this chat, and also some of the people that I know in the industry. I can't hold their proverbial jock straps or whatever it is that they have. So I test pens all the time. I got to make sure the pen. See, I'm pen testing too. See, I've got a pen. It works. Thing, yeah. So anyway, for those of you watching at home, Parrot Terminal, I managed to run the tamper script, which in this case was between. Oh, look at YTT. It's just so fancy with the e-ink. Oh. I actually looked at one of those Remarkables, the Remarkable 2s. I actually looked at the Remarkable 1s, and I was like, it's a little bulky. And I'd really wanted... Back when the Kindles were a thing and I had one of the Kindle DXs, which was a large one, I really wanted that to be like an e-ink tablet kind of thing. But my laptop that I use right here has a stylus on it, and I can actually write on the board. Yes, the Remarkable 2 is insanely thin for a reason. But the last couple of laptops I've had has my stylus on it. I actually don't hate using the stylus, even this piddly little one, on my Lenovo. And it lasts a good long time, and I can do things like annotate. It saves us a lot of time and effort when we're signing things, because people are like, oh, well, you just have to print this out and then put it into a document scanner and scan it back in. And I'm like, no, 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 watch this. Open it up in a PDF, annotate, save, and then send it out. When you run out of ink, instead of a refill, there's an e-fill. Look at Digital Warhead. All right, so I finished that. Marked complete. Done. Okay. Okay, well, we have one more section. I don't know if I want to get into it. Oh, Taggart's on. Oh, sweet. What's this? What's this? Ding, 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 ding. So I was telling people I have a Stream Deck. So for those of you who, ooh, fancy. I don't know what the Stream Deck thing is. Maybe that's one of my friends that I follow is being notified. MT Taggart's on. So good person. Awesome person. He's feeling a little unhappy, I think. He was not accepted to DEF CON to talk because of something happened. I don't know if they went on a show or a podcast or something. But DEF CON, I guess, did not allow them to speak because of this was previously disclosed talk or something. I was MT Taggart on his last stream doing Hack the Cloud. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, he's on right now. Yeah. Really, really awesome guy. So, you know what? I'd really like to go raid MT Taggart if we can, just to say hello and to send some love. And I think we only have this OS level 1, and then we have one more section, which I'll think about maybe. Yeah, we got a couple of more of these, so I'll give those some time. I want to do some read up on those and see how bad it is before I do that. But there's a couple of additional bits, and then we'll have the final, and then we'll be done with the sequel map. So hopefully we can get that at least to the final part, or at least some of the final stuff in the next couple days, maybe on Friday. I definitely want to go back to doing some RP stuff on Saturday. I think I've figured out which system I want to use. I don't think I want to use the transhumanist stuff. There's just a little too much in terms of big words to use. So I'm looking at starting the solo stuff, continuing that, right? Building out my character with Fate, and maybe using Traveler, some of the setting in Traveler for that, and some cyberpunk stuff like body modifications and stuff like that. So, all right. Well, I'm going to set us up the raid for MT Taggart. I didn't realize you type so much into terminal to get something done. I'm new to cybersecurity. You know what, Linux? I didn't type all of that in there. I basically just copy pasted, but a lot of that, not to derail us leaving and going over and hanging out with Taggart, but I'm going to refresh my page. Oh, it died on me. All right. Oh no, there it is. Okay. A lot of this stuff I could have gotten rid of, to be honest. I think anything with a -H on it, those are just headers that show up. I mean, here in the headers, you see the stuff that's in here, like the connection keep alive, the content encoding, the content length, content type, the date, the keep alive, all of this stuff, all these response portions, or I'm sorry, not response. I want the request. Oh no. Okay. Anything with an H on it is, I would say for the most part, is optional, especially when doing these. Like I could have gotten rid of the refer link here, the connection compressed, the do not track, upgrade secure requests. I mean, you shouldn't have to type all of this stuff. I mean, I could have just gotten, removed this here and just then gone through it. Yeah, same thing with digital. Yeah, if you're going to use Linux, you really need to be comfortable with the CLI, because while there are a lot of UIs that do work in Linux, there are more than a few that work in, that are more powerful on the command line. And I think this is actually coming back on Windows too, where you're starting to see a lot more powerful options in Windows. And back in the day, there used to be like, there's only things you could access only with the CLI, because when they designed the program or they designed the UI, they didn't put all the functionality in the GUI. Right. Some Windows boxes now are actually headless if you decide, like the data center version of Windows, because the desktop is a resource hog, right? Some Linux purists don't like using things like KDE and GNOME because they add bloat, a couple thousand packages, including things like LibreOffice, which you'll never use. The search for the purest, smallest Linux, other than using something like Damned Small or one of those other ones. Alpine is actually fairly lightweight. Yeah. Cool. Looks like Taggart will be starting here in about 5 minutes. I'll just sit around here. But yeah, so YTT, I don't have any machines with a window manager outside of X. I only run it when I have to. Yeah. I actually cut my teeth when I was doing OpenBSD. They had one called, it was called something else now, but it was Spectrum. And it was a tiling one. Actually, one of my friends, tiling window manager. I like those. It's very much like Tmux or Screen, but it's just for your whole screen. So you get something really, really simple, really minimal like this. It'll still run GUI. So if you run Firefox it'll bring up a Firefox GUI. But I really enjoyed using this. Rat Poison was another one of these where Rat Poison. I don't see a lot of people using these tiled type Windows managers. They always want the full, like Ubuntu, whatever the hell the package is for that. But did it go away? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll be around here more often for sure. I like to learn. Oh, I appreciate you, Linux Parrot. We do have about 150 hours of stuff. I'm not suggesting you subscribe, but I do appreciate your following us. But if you do want to watch a bunch of some of the stuff that I've done previously with Hack the Box, some Try Hack Me stuff. We actually did interviews. Part of our podcast is doing interviews, which I mentioned John DiMaggio, who we're going to have on our weekly podcast for the next couple weeks. We have a VOD of him talking about some stuff. But yeah, we try to bring as much value as I can, given my time constraints and people's patience. YTT is one of our Discord moderators. If you're interested in joining our Discord, you can bang Discord and join our Discord. We have about 105 people on there now, which is pretty good. Number of channels and things. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Digital. BreakingSecurity.com. Absolutely. That's about 9 years worth of audio podcasts as well. And we got some other stuff coming up. I was talking to Tanisha, one of our content creators. She's looking to start her reverse engineering course with us on the 28th of June. We will be going through and setting up a lab and doing some reverse engineering of malware, like real stuff. Talked to her last night, as a matter of fact, about some of this. So plenty enough content to steal your face and voice. Yes, YTT. Yes, I am. Hello, my name is Brian. There you go. You can do a deep fake on me or what have you. But yeah. Okay, so they still have the old name on the tile thing. I didn't want to use that name, but yeah, when they first came out with it, they called it something else. And then they changed it to Spectrum because I guess it was not good, but yeah, I do like Linux. My only problem, and I would convert my laptop to Linux in a heartbeat, because when I was running Ubuntu on this laptop, even with OBS, quiet, silent, no problems, I just can't get the camera to work on it. And my EOS camera right here, the one that I'm using, this one, there's no driver for it. And the way that you get EOS cameras to work on Linux right now is some kind of janky ass VLC not camera ass, but is cameras Linux. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to use this just bunch of janky commands and what have you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to install Gphoto and V4L2 loopback utils and whatever. With Windows, I plug it in and it works. I want that. And unfortunately, my only other options are to use capture card like my Elgato, or, just use a shitty webcam. So, but yeah, the Linux still has a long way to go to actually support a lot of things. Like, this is the command you got to run to get it to work. And even when you're doing this, you don't get full resolution. So it just kind of sucks. It's the Windows for Video Stack. V4L is video for Linux. It's the Windows Stack. My Wi-Fi adapter doesn't work for Linux. See, Linux Parrot, you're absolutely when I first started using OpenBSD, they didn't have Wi-Fi G drivers. So I had to use like a Wi-Fi dongle that ran Windows or like wireless B. I mean, you had to really look at the chipsets that were underneath, because if the drivers weren't supported in the kernel, then you were not going to do anything with that. And I mean, we're still in 2022, and we're still in like Linux trying to figure out how to support everything. And you know what? Some of it's not Linux's fault. Some of it's, developers and things. I mean, I technically could run my Canon through my capture card here. But that's just another step. It's another janky step that you've got to do to make things work. It took me 2 days to find the Linux command to install the driver. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind running Ubuntu on this. If I could get Ubuntu and my streaming setup to work, I would not look back. But, I got to be able to use Zoom. I got to be able to, do everything that I need to do on that. And yeah, it just kind of sucks. So, I see our friend MT Taggart is on. So I'm going to go. I do appreciate everybody sitting around here with me. Tag Art. Give him some love when you get over there if you can. And I'm going to go ahead. We're going to raid him. Oh, only 2. Oh, okay. 4 viewers, 5 viewers. All right. Yeah, get online with us, Linux Parrot, and hang out. So we're going to raid MT Taggart now. So have everyone have a good day. Good rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday, hopefully, and we'll hang. So good night, y'all.